Hi all. Today I'm going to be talking about my research, which is one part of three, which includes Brian and Megan. We are focusing on the impacts of sensory neuro, strength, and patient-rated outcome scores when it comes to testing functionality in those related to those who have chronic ankle instability. So for my portion of this project, I am focusing on the contribution relationship between patient-rated outcome scores and function tested with functional assessment tools. Excuse me. So our specific aims, my specific aims for this specific portion of the project, is to look at global, regional, dimensional, and psychological impacts of an injury and health and perceptions of well-being on function and vice versa. So looking to see if function is going to affect you regionally, dimensionally, psychologically, or globally. And those are chronic ankle instability. Our experimental design is a cross-sectional quantitative research design. So we're going to be measuring specific numbers and not just qualitative evidence to determine if there's a contribution. Our variables include 8. Well, my variables for my specific part is there's 8 variables. So it's 8 dependent variables, 4 which are the patient-rated outcome scores, and 4 functional assessment tools. So to match my specific aims, we chose to do the foot and ankle ability measure quick version to test regional perceptions of well-being. So how do they feel that their ankle alone is affected, or how they feel like it's functioning. Then we're using the lower extremity functional scale, the LEFS, to determine dimensional specifics, so looking at the lower extremity as a whole. Then we're using the DPA, the Disabilities of the Physically Active scale, to look at the impact of the entire body on patients' perceived well-being. And we're looking at the TSK-11, the Tampa Scale of Kinesiophobia version 11, to look at psychological impact or psychological views of or self-perception of well-being. And then we're decided to use 4 different functional assessment tools, 2 which test landing kinematics, and 2 that test agility, strength, and are more not necessarily function, or not necessarily sport specific, but more functional than static balance. So the 2 landing ones we're using the single leg landing task and the double leg landing task. So this will be scored live. So we have really no, we'll have a computer. Our instrumentation would be just a live scoring of this. And for the other 2, we have the triple hop for distance, which is testing strength and power of the lower extremity. And we'll be using a tape measure on the floor to measure distance of 3 consecutive hops, and we will be averaging the 3. And then finally we have the single leg 8 hops. So the person is hopping on one leg in a figure 8 pattern as quick as they can, and that'll be scored using a stopwatch, and again the times will be averaged out of 3. So in this way we get an idea of how their landing is affected, how their speed and agility is affected, and then how their strength and power is affected. And so when we measure the patient-rated outcome scores and the functional assessment tools, our goal is our specific aims or our purpose is to look to see if there is a relationship. So if functionality of a functional score decreases, does patient-rated outcome scores increase or decrease? Our participants for this will be recruited from ISU, although the women's basketball team will be excluded because of my conflict of interest since I am their graduate assistant athletic trainer. But we will be recruiting outside of just athletics. We want to definitely recruit from the library and from the science building, and we want to make sure we get a very broad scope of people who have chronic ankle instability. So we're really excited about this project. I can't wait to begin. Our IRB is already through its first draft, so I'm really looking forward to your guys' feedback, and I can't wait to read more about your own research. So I hope you guys have a great day.